Crack-a-lackin', what is crack-a-lackin'? Somebody give me a 5 for 5 and we'll get going. Guys, I'm using a different mic tonight. Instead of headphones, I'm using just a mic. So if you guys could give me a 5 for 5, let me know how it sounds. According to the bars here, it looks pretty good. I guess it could be a little bit loud. I can turn it down if I need to. Just let me know. Alright, anyway guys, we got a lot of stuff going on. Yeah, this is the big, like, I guess, more recent news. 7.7 earthquake down here in Indonesia. We got some people over here, guys. D. Griffith, he's over here. And I'd be interested to see what he has to say, if he's over there at all with this. But yeah. How does that... I'll ask you guys here in just a minute, but let me know the quality of the mic too. If it compared to what my live stream was yesterday, is all I'm asking you to do. Okay? And just give me some feedback. Anyway, guys, they did put 2 buoys, tsunami buoys, in event mode. So we will be talking about that. We've had a couple decent-sized flares here. It almost got to M class, but the reason why it didn't get to M class is because we were so far down at our baseline right now, because the sun's been pretty quiet. So, yeah, we kind of expect that. So, if the baseline was up here and these flares happened, we're looking at close to X flare. So, but it doesn't mean that those things are like real powerful or anything, but it's just how that works. It's an overall measurement of X-ray. They could kind of pinpoint it on the sun, but we'll go more into that here in just a second. This is our magnetopause. This is solar wind hitting our magnetic field. We really don't have a whole lot impacting the planet right now. You can see a couple little waves coming in, and that's pretty interesting too, but we'll go through that here in just a few minutes. And shout out to my Aussies again here. This is the same model, but just very simplified. Here's satellites. Satellites there. This is our bow shock. Again, this bow shock is this. Okay? We'll go more into that in just a second. This is the geoelectric, not geomagnetic. This is geoelectric. And what this is, it's space weather's effect on our electrical grid. So we'll take a little bit deeper dive into that. This is pertinent right now because this is how we kind of have like substantial measurements on how space weather affects earthquake or seismic activity. Okay, guys, if you remember yesterday in my live stream, remember I was showing you guys this little feature right here, and I said, hey, this sunspot right here, if it starts to flare, it's going to destabilize that big gigantic magnetic filament that lays in the corona there. Guess what? It did. Right there. Look at that. Check it out. And we'll go more into that here in just a second too. Here's our aurora forecast. You know, we got to wait to get hit with geomagnetism before we start seeing any kind of substantial aurora. Remember, aurora, they like equinoxes. So, you know, around spring and fall, that's when aurora really do pop. Okay, and there's reasons for that. We're not going to go into that tonight, but I just want to make sure we'll go over this a little bit more too. Here is a boring graph I'm not going to show you right now because guess what? All it is just showing you guys space weather conditions. So in a mathematical bar graph form. Again, guys, Indiana floods. Guys, I'm at ground zero. Just so everybody understands, and I appreciate all the prayers. I truly do. And then, you know, it's just, it's horrific around here, guys. And I'll go into a little bit of a story here in just a minute of some of the stuff that's been going on. But this is Hagerstown football field. Check that out. That's the goalpost. Now, I showed that picture yesterday. Okay, it's not hard to find pictures of this. Do you see this? That is a simple search. And yeah. Now yesterday when it first happened, there was a picture going around, but it was from Eastern Indiana or Eastern Kentucky floods from last year, and you really couldn't tell the difference because it looks almost the same, but it wasn't current. So make sure you guys, kind of check that kind of stuff. Especially if you only got a couple captures, a couple images, But we'll go more into that too. But guess what? Tomorrow, check that out. They just raised this again. That's marginal. That's a slight risk. And we're talking about floods here, okay? That's moderate. They don't usually put things any higher than moderate. Okay? This red bullseye, guess what? I'm right in here. So, and some of the worst flooding is right in here. And down here, and over here, and over here, and over here. It ended up being such a wide area in Indiana this time. Nobody was expecting it like that. It really was really hard to forecast, and it was really bad. There was floods just north of Indianapolis. Curb Creeper's over there. Go check out his channel. Curb Creeper. He was going to post some pictures. I'm not sure if he did or not. I haven't had a chance to get over there myself today. Been busy myself, so. But as you can see, this is tomorrow, guys. And the last time I looked, I think where I live, we had like 15 inches of rain in just a little over a day. And they're calling it a 1 in 1,000 year event. I never thought I would see anything like this in my lifetime where I live. And I guess everybody says that, you just don't. You don't really expect it. You see it all the time on the news, on the Weather Channel, all that kind of stuff. But yeah. I'm going to go over some of this stuff with you too. This is the Whitewater Gorge. Okay. And it's going to come in pertinent to what I'm going to be showing you guys here in just a few minutes. And as you can see here, that's like a little waterfall in the gorge, right? It's the Whitewater River that goes down through there, and that's a bridge up here. And I'll show you some stuff here in just a minute. It's probably going to blow your mind. Well, I'll give you a little sneak peek. Check that out. This little sneak, and we'll go more into where that's actually at and what happened. Okay. And again, guys, I'll tell you some. I know some people that lost their homes, and it's horrible. It just truly is. And I don't think we can help the situation or help prevent this stuff from happening. Not really, you can't prevent a flood, but make sure that people know what to do in those situations. That's what we got to do. So that's why we have to talk about stuff like this. It has nothing to do with just trying to, look, it's almost midnight. It just turned midnight. I didn't rush out here and try to do a live stream. You know what I mean? I wasn't trying to be first. When I do that, when I rush out there and do stuff like that, I always make a mistake. So anyway, let me go ahead and run this little bit of an intro, and it's only like 10 seconds, I think. And I'll see you guys in a minute. Okay, so give me a 5 for 5. I got my Yeti plugged in, and I got a microphone that Jammer gave me. And he's a good dude. I got this tripod and stuff. I'm probably going to do some videos, guys, that I'm going to put my face down here. It'll be me, just I'll be sitting in my chair and stuff. You guys will be able to see the background. I got a lot of Star Wars stuff behind me. A lot of Cowboys stuff. I got a signed football helmet, DeMarcus Ware. And a few other players. I got Frank Thomas rookie cards and baseballs, and I got a lot of cool stuff in here that my kids got me. My daughter got me some ribbons from the moon landing mission. Now, I know that some people don't think we went. I'm not here to talk about that, okay? I don't argue about that. Everybody's entitled to their opinion, including me. Okay? So, and I don't argue with people either. I never do. So, I just want to make sure, and I'm getting that. So, how is the mic, is it sound better than what it did? I would think that it would. And it's the only reason why I'm asking. And if it's too loud, let me know and I can turn it down a touch. I am getting into the red a little bit, and sometimes when it does that, you start getting too much gain and it gets gritty. If you guys are hearing stuff like that, let me know. But anyway, okay, so yeah, this earthquake. This is not. I mean, guys, come on, that's a 7.7. Okay, so let's run down a little bit, just a little. Let's go 48 hours of a timeline, right? We had a decent sized one yesterday. I can't remember exactly. Oh, the volcano erupted. And that's just as important to note as a earthquake is. Okay, it's all seismic activity. So that was right after the solar eclipse, and then we start seeing this, and yeah, so those things are related. Okay, it's not. I mean, it's pretty much just accepted that yes, eclipses for whatever reason, because I don't know the reason. If somebody else does, feel free to fill me in. But, you know, it affects stuff like that. We start seeing things like very shortly after. But I always have to point out, you know, we had flares too. We had flares, and that's X-ray just blasting our planet. It's not really a CME. Our overall geomagnetic activity is fairly low right now. If it gets down here to 1 or down to 0 and it stays like that for 24 hours, I have to come out here and tell you guys, hey, you know, we're under a cosmic ray watch, or just be alert to that. Cosmic rays are, you know, in high levels, they're pretty dangerous, especially if you live up towards the poles or if you fly a lot, okay? You know, they relate them to, you know, getting cancer. They'll go right through your body. They go right through our planet. It's crazy. Muons, and there's a whole lot of science behind it, which I'm not going to get into tonight, but it's just those things happen. And so as the sun starts to calm down and you get back into a more sleepy mode, I guess you would say, hey, listen, everything I'm doing now, I'm still going to be doing during solar minimum. That's when I started my channel. And there's always going to be something to talk about that's important. We can learn more when we're not rushed to do it. And, you know, that's what I would say to that. But when we get a KP of 1 or below and it stays like that for an extended period, we don't have that geomagnetic activity hanging around our planet kind of juiced up to block those muons and everything else that's coming in from the cosmos. The sun helps protect us from the sun and the cosmos. So all this energy the sun's giving us, it's actually beefing up our magnetic field. So if we got a constant stream, and normal is 300 to 500 and kilometers per second. Let's go to that boring graph. It's really the only way I can show you. Okay, so this is speed, this is velocity. It's measured in kilometers per second, which is fast. Okay, for every 400, you can figure 1 million miles per hour. Okay, and you can get a number transfer, a unit calculator, that kind of thing. All you gotta do is search whatever search engine you use, and you'll get 1,000 of them just pop up in your face. Anyway, 300 to 500 is normal. Density, density doesn't mean volume. Okay, it doesn't mean area either. Okay, density is just how dense it actually, how close these particles are together and how many of them are there. Okay, so when you got a bunch of that in a small area, the density goes up, right? And if the Earth gets hit with that part of a CME, it hits us harder. Makes sense, right? Now, oftentimes you'll see that the density will go up and then the speed will go down for the exact same reason I just said. You got all wrapped up in a ball, and then now the speed can't get there because it's got to push it more. And it's done mainly by gravity has some effect on it, but most of it's magnetic. Okay, so that's why we look at this BZ. The BZ, we look for -6. Now this new graph, I thought it wasn't going to show see where it's purple here, because we're looking at this red line. And the BZ is our magnetic positioning our magnetic field's positioning. Okay, negative, positive, right? So when it goes into negative, it opens us up. In other words, we will basically couple with the solar wind better, and it just draws it in magnetically. So, but we look for -6. So always come over here and look at this before you start thinking that just because that's purple, that it's down low enough, it's going to give us an issue, or give us some aurora or whatever. I don't like using that word issue because I don't think this is an issue. Okay, it's space weather and it's space weather news. That's what this is. Okay, and sometimes it can be an issue. I mean, we've lost electricity before. We've had satellites fly out of the sky. I mean, there's all kinds of things I could point to. But we need to watch it, and I'm going to try, like I said, we try to give as much of a lead time or I hate to use that word, warning too. If I ever come out here and I tell you, and I start telling you, hey, I'm warning you right now, you need to go do this, you'll never hear me say that but one time. Okay? And I'm serious. If I ever say something like that, I'm going to 1000% mean it. I will 1000% just be like, yo, this is it, I'm out, because I'm not going to say that to you guys unless I think it's that time. I'm just not going to do it. I've seen so many other channels just start blasting that stuff out everywhere, and then they come back out and they move the goalpost. They move it back. No pun intended. Sorry, Hagerstown. But yeah, it makes me sick sometimes because it can confuse people that don't know any better, and it scares them. And that's why we don't want that to be happening. So anyway, this is our geoelectric field. Okay, this isn't magnetics. This is a space weather's effect on our electrical grid systems. Canada and the United States are working together on this one. I don't think it's spread outside of that right now. But basically, we watch where this comes in at, and you'll definitely see things move around here. Okay, when we start getting hit with like big time CMEs, this thing will light up, man. And then you better be watching for some earthquakes because it's going to happen. And we have a better chance of earthquakes when we start seeing coronal holes. That's one of the biggest drivers, guys. See these holes in the sun's corona, the atmosphere? That's one of the biggest drivers of earthquakes. Okay? I know, I understand the physics behind that and the science. I just can't teach it to anybody yet. I hope to get there to where I'm comfortable enough telling people, hey, this is how this works. But I'm not going to come out here and do that unless I'm confident enough I'm not going to mess it up. Okay? And it's not to say I don't make mistakes, because I do. But I try my best to get to a point where I'm comfortable enough that I can at least give you a basic knowledge of what's happening. Now, if you remember, was it the last show or 2 shows ago, this coronal hole was over here, and it was pretty small, wasn't it? I told you guys, I said it looked like it's growing. And we had the parallax effect. When you're looking at a sphere straight on, stuff on the side of it's going to appear smaller than what it actually is. And also this one. I look for this coronal hole and this coronal hole. If this sunspot has a massive eruption, has a big flare and gets rid of its energy pretty much, these 2 coronal holes are going to grow together. Or you could have these big sunspots right here that want to blast off like 20 times, right? And it will close these holes up sometimes. Now remember, this is a hole in the atmosphere of the sun, the corona. It's not a hole in the sun. It's a hole in the atmosphere, exposing the surface. The sun's surface is colder than its atmosphere. Things on the extreme ultraviolet imaging here, the 211 angstrom, the darker colors are colder. That's how this works. So if you watch right here, okay, remember the sunspot I was telling you about? Watch when this thing resets. Matter of fact, I'm just going to, well, see that filament right there, and you see what happened there? That was almost a canyon of fire, and then you seen this here just get disrupted also. So, I mean, it's just, wow, you know? Yeah. Why is YouTube holding those comments? Yeah, I mean, Lady T, we're not holding those. I know I'm not. There's nothing wrong with that comment. Moon looks like a smiley face with the tongue sticking out. What's wrong with that? Why did Google hold that? That's ridiculous. I'm sorry. We're not doing it. So, just so you know, we're not doing it. That's Google holding it. And moderators, please let that stuff go. And let it come on in. Go ahead and approve it. If it's not vulgar and it's not attacking somebody, you can let every comment in. Everybody's allowed to have their opinion here. If they attack me, let them attack me. Okay. I'll handle that, and basically how I handle it is I don't even give it too much attention. I'll answer a question. Sometimes I've offered people my channel for about 30 minutes. If you think I'm wrong and you're telling me this is how things work, well, here's a Zoom link. You can come out here and talk. I'll keep my mouth shut for 30 minutes. Just explain it to me. Then I won't even respond. We'll just let the viewers decide what they want to believe. That's my whole purpose here. Just to give more and more information. That's why I tell you guys, watch every channel you absolutely can. Even if you think I don't like them. I know we become very close here. But please, watch everybody. You can learn from a lot of people. Okay? You just got to learn how to decipher out all the nasty. And that's where the skill comes in. And that's where you got to, repetition will get rid of that for you. You'll start to recognize it sooner and quicker. And then it won't even be there for you. You can see right through it. So, anyway. Well, let me go back here first. Because I do want to show you, okay, these CMEs. We've got some CMEs from those filaments coming at us. Okay, here's one of them right here. That's the biggest one that's going to be hitting Earth. So we'll go forward one. Now, we had some big ones back here, guys. And when I say back here, in about 2 days, it's going to be like here. Okay? And if it fires one off the size that it did a little while ago, that would even give us a glancing blow from way over here. And so let me show that to you. I'll just ramp this up a little bit. There's another one. That went to stereo A. That's over here. And how I know it was already going there? Because I looked at the coronagraph from that satellite. And I seen a halo eruption. So, yeah. No, I need to take a drink, guys. Hold on a second. Okay. Check that out right there. Look at that. Yeah, Lady T, I know. You did nothing wrong. That was that was YouTube's robot in the chat. We don't have any control over that. That's what they do. They hold comments, and sometimes it gets it wrong, and it did that time. There was absolutely nothing wrong with what you said, so please don't think that there was, okay? Yeah, this is a big CME right here, guys. Watch what it does to the interplanetary magnetic field line to this satellite. No, that's not Mercury. What satellite is that? That would be Solo. So yeah, look at that. Look how fast that's moving too. I mean, that's fast, guys. That's probably moving at 2 million miles per hour. Close to it. Anyway, so we'll go forward to the next one. And it looks like we got one just about in the same spot. Just not as quite as big. Okay, and then we go forward here. Off this side. I mean, the sun's very active. There's another one. That was a different one. Right? So when we go to the 15th, see that little baby one right there? And I'm not sure if there's any more after this one. Probably not. Nope, that was the last one. So just know that we're going to catch some of these, okay? And if we come over here and we look at NOAA's forecasting on it, that was NASA's model, okay? Let's just play this and make it big. I'm going to stop that right there and just grab it. You'll be able to see it launch. This shows it from the time this model is updated. It gives you 2 days historic data. Then it gives you 5 days out in advance. Okay? Hey, Robert. Good to see you. So check that out. Look at that. It's pretty cool. Right? So they are saying, they're kind of agreeing. Their models are agreeing, and typically when the two models agree, we end up getting some sort of a geomagnetic event out of it. Big, small, in the middle. We usually get something out of it. Okay? I'm not going to waste my time showing you guys the magnetopause this time. Well, I'll say this. You guys see that dark red? That's actually moving the same speed as these darker blues are. They're just moving in opposite directions. People always ask me, how does something push against the solar wind and hit Earth from the back? Well, because this is our protection. The stuff back here is inside of Earth's magnetic field. It's the magnetopause, its tail back here. Okay? It's not just out in open space with no magnetic protection. Now, if me or you were hanging out way over here, yeah, our butt cheeks would be connected to the sun magnetically and it would be eating us up. But that's why we have this, right? And you see these right here? I'm not sure if you guys can see it, especially if you're on a phone. You can almost see the magnetic field lines right there. They're like little fingers. And you got to think of it, Tamitha Skov has a really good way of explaining that. She takes a slinky and wraps it around Earth. That's what our magnetic field looks like. Okay? It's, you know, she's guys, if you want some really good on point, I mean just knowledge of what's happening out in space and with our sun and everything else that's involved with space weather, go check out Tamitha Skov. It's free college, man. It truly is. Especially if you become a member or something over there or get on our Patreon. And, you know, and Matthew Shipley, he has a channel here on YouTube, and he's a good guy too. And he's always hanging out over at Tamitha's, but he's got his own page, YouTube channel. Check him out too. That's a 24-hour live stream, and he's showing you solar conditions, earthquakes. It's on a loop. So it's really cool. It's kind of like Ryan Hall's Y'all Bot. If anybody watches Ryan Hall, it's pretty good. He did a really good job with it. But anyway, I wanted to stop there for a second and let you guys see that. Now, again, shout out to my Aussies. We're going to take a look at this. You're going to see our bow shock bouncing back and forth. This is exactly what we would expect to see. This is nothing out of the ordinary. This is not a big deal. It's going to bounce like that when we get hit with things. I like this one in particular because it does show us the main satellite line. Okay? Every once in a while we'll start getting hit, and this bow shock will be inside our satellite line. When that happens, it exposes any satellite on the left side of our bow shock towards the sun. It exposes it, just completely exposes it. So whatever's coming from the sun is going to hit those satellites without any of Earth's protection. And that's why that's important to talk about. Because these things get damaged, it causes more drag, and they can slowly start falling back to Earth. Which they're, if you know anything about orbital mechanics, they're in a constant state of free fall anyway. That's really what orbit is. Most people, a lot of people are starting to get that. I've found that. I really have. People are starting to understand that more. But sometimes they got to, steer these back in. And that's why when I tell you guys, I show you guys the scales, right? Like a G1 or a G2 storm. That's why they give you specific things that can happen during those storms. And one of those things are steering these satellites back up into their positioning to keep them in orbit. Because it causes more drag. It slows them down. And a lot of other things can happen too. So, but that's one of the main ones. Now, if I come up here and I show you, this is the 304 angstrom. It's extreme ultraviolet. Now, I know you got, if you're on a phone, I'm not sure if you guys can see when that one explodes all that well. The ones that hit Earth are oftentimes the hardest ones to see. And the reason why is because when we're looking at these imaging, the sun's the background. So it camouflages itself. Okay? And if we were to go down to the coronagraph, unless it's a complete halo or maybe it's a compacted CME. We've had that happen before too. It's fired right at the Earth, right? But we don't see it poke out around this occulter disk. This is from our point of view. This satellite's 1 million miles closer to the sun. It's SOHO. But it's essentially from our point of view just 1 million miles away from us, looking at the sun. This is a physical disk on the imager. It blocks the main light of the sun so we can get a capture at all. This circle right here is representative. They're trying to keep it as representative anyway of the sun itself. Okay? So this is not the sun's surface. This would be more representative of that. This here would be more of a coronal image. Way out here. And I would even say the corona is probably even inside that a little bit. Because you do get light leakage past that. I'm not going to get into that. It's getting too detailed for all of that. But I got a cough. I'm sorry, guys. Hold on a minute. Hopefully you guys didn't hear that cough. I tried to mute. Hopefully I got that. So you guys didn't have to listen to that. Alright, so Aurora. This is not, I mean, yes, if you got really good skies, the people that are living up here probably could catch some aurora. It's not going to be real intense. But you are looking at a decent, I mean, it's about right here on the scale down here. Now, this is the northern hemisphere, and that's the southern hemisphere. A lot of people don't show this one very often. And I'm guilty of that myself. You know, we kind of get focused on ourselves and where we live at, right? But make no mistake, we got a lot of people from Australia that watch. And it's important to let them know, too. Hey, go check out your aurora. Okay? So, yeah. Anyway, I wanted to make sure I want to start showing these, even if it's only for 10 seconds. You know, I don't want to beat a dead horse either. I'm trying to get better at that. I think I am. You've probably noticed I'm not squirreling as much tonight because I'm really trying not to. Okay, now, this was a picture I showed you guys yesterday. That's a road. It's called Waterfall Road. It's completely washed out. As I show you some of these pictures, I'm going to tell you guys a story from what just happened well, 2 days ago now. And I kind of shared it a little bit yesterday, I think. But I have a friend that lost her house to this. Okay? She was on her way to work. They got the call, you need to evacuate. She ran back home, grabbed what she could, got her kids in the car, and took off. Right? When she got home, she wasn't even in the house 45 minutes, and it was already coming in the door. Okay? That's how fast it happens. And you know, because we don't see floods with our own eyeballs very often, we tend to not take it as serious as we should. This is a really leading, I mean, these flash floods kill more people each year. It's crazy, the numbers, if you really go look at them. It's just dangerous. And it sounds ridiculous. It's a cliche, but daggone it, it's a cliche for a reason. Turn around, don't drown. I mean, I can't say it any clearer than that. You know, I don't care if you're in a big dually and you drive up on this right here and you see this. You know, once somebody tells you, hey man, you shouldn't go in there, and you do, that's on you, brother. I mean, I ain't driving in that. You're crazy. Not to mention, it probably deadhead your engine. Unless you got pipes sticking out the front like a semi, out the top. Gotta have that exhaust or engine will die on you. I don't even know how, I would imagine these floods would affect an electric car more. Electricity and water, they don't typically mix very well. But, and they put coatings, and yes, they make sure that stuff shouldn't really happen, but they're not taking them Teslas and throwing them in a lake to test them either. So, anyway, I try to keep a sense of humor. You'll hear me do that when I'm uncomfortable, especially. I don't like talking about this stuff. And what I'm getting ready to talk about with the woman that got her kids out of there, her brother had passed like 2 weeks before, 2 years. Well, it hadn't been quite 2 years. Anyway, and her brother had some issues, right? He was on the spectrum. That's what I'll say. He wasn't like real bad on the spectrum or anything, but he was on the spectrum. And, he was always taking care of his mom and dad. And I was in group. She was in group with us. We were having a group. And she gets a phone call, and her brother had just passed out, and he passed away. It was horrible. Just that in itself. So anyway, this happens to her with this flood, and she had saved some of her brother's hair, and she forgot to grab it. It's gone. She can't get that back. That's the stuff that really breaks my heart, because we can go make more money. We can build our house again. She can't get no more hair from her brother. Now, I know it might sound ridiculous. Some people think that that's nasty, that's gross. Hey, people grieve in a lot of different ways. So do your best not to judge if you do. I'm not saying that you are. I'm just saying. Different societies grieve in different ways. It's pretty easy to see if you go look through the history books. So I try not to, do what you got to do to get yourself better. And if you got to get through a grieving process, go do it. Who cares what people think about you at that point? Anyway, okay, so this is the high school football field. I can't see it very well, but I think this is part of the practice field, maybe. But yeah, it's almost at the base of the post itself. I don't know how tall that is. I'm guessing 3 or 4 feet. And you can look at the bathrooms over here, same thing. But if we go here, take your pick. They're everywhere. And this isn't just in my town. This is all over central and east central Indiana. This is it's devastating. The governor has issued a state of emergency for the whole state. Every county in the state. And the reason he did that, so they could release funds to help people. And he applied for federal funds. We have to be in a state of emergency before we can request help from the federal government at the level that we need it. Okay? So, yeah, I don't know what to say when I look at stuff like this. And I'm going to show you some stuff here in a second that I just absolutely do not like to even talk about. But I'm going to. I hate it, but, it needs to be talked about. People need to hear it, so maybe they'll take this stuff serious. And I'm not saying that these other people didn't take it serious. Because when you only got like 3 people passing away in an event like this, that's pretty amazing. Because like I said, this isn't just in one county. We're talking like the whole central Indiana, east central Indiana, eastern Indiana, into Ohio. It's... And then when I see this is tomorrow's forecast. Now we're back to marginal again. Guys, my weather radio has not quit going off for 4 days. I'm talking like 5 or 6 alerts. 7, I think was it yesterday or the day before? It was like 8 alerts that I heard with my own ears. And I wasn't always in the room. It just kept going off. And I got it pinpointed down to 3 counties. My county and the 2 around me. They issued a PDS for that. Particularly dangerous situation. Right? For a flood. They very, very seldom do that. And this time, they nailed it. They did. They did a heck of a job forecasting this time. Because I was sitting on the couch with my wife, and she's like, "Hey, check this out." And this was, I think it was last Friday. And there had this, it almost looked like a map showing you what time like a total eclipse would be showing in your area, but it was showing rain. It was like a 5-day rain event. And I'm telling you, it got close to what they were forecasting that. It was impressive. It really, truly was. And I don't say that often about weather reporting because it's hard to do. But yeah, this right here, I mean, that's my area, guys. That's going to be me again tomorrow. And yeah. So, anyway, let me come over here. And as far as some of the articles I've read, we've had like 3 deaths. And unfortunately, this is where it starts making me sick. The ground got wet, obviously, and it like washed away a tree. Well, it fell into a house and it killed a 4-year-old little boy. And that's the kind of stuff that just, I hate even talking about it. But I have to. You know, I feel like I need to. Right? Just so people can understand how serious this is. Turn around, don't drown. Pay attention. Just pay attention. That's all you got to do. Common sense. Okay? But anyway, you guys see this bridge right here? Okay, that's like if you were to, this picture right here, well, I think I got it here. Yeah, this here, that's that same waterfall. There's a bridge there, but, I'm sorry, hold on. This bridge here is, if you could see watch where I put it, okay? It's kind of over down here, right? But it's up way at top, right? It's like 10 feet off the surface of the normal level of the river here. This is the Whitewater River. And there's a huge gorge, okay? This is our Main Street Bridge. It lets us go across this river. Believe it or not, this bridge is US 40. It goes right down through the middle of where I live, okay? I live in a place where, one of the few places in the country where 40 and 70 actually cross each other. And it was really good for manufacturing. The fact that where my factory was at kept us from shutting down because the interstates were there. Logistic reasons. Not numbers, not money, none of that. We stayed open not because somebody else was doing worse than us, but we could put stuff on a truck and they can roll. It's crazy how that works. But 40 and 70 cross right about my state line, Indiana-Ohio state line. Anyway, I think it's exit 156 or something like that. That's the last exit in Indiana, I think. Anyway, but this is a little waterfall. There's a bunch of them if you were to walk this. And there's another story I'll tell you here in a minute about that. See this bridge? That's that bridge here. Okay, they added a net to it, I think. Let me double check. Yeah, that's that bridge, and then they added this stuff to it. Right? You see the water? I mean, it's no joke, guys. The water is like 10 feet right there. And you see what it's doing to the trees over here. Okay? So this was a big deal because this hasn't been there but 20 years. They put it there, and it was a big deal for our community. But we got what we call the Whitewater Gorge, and that's the Whitewater River running through it, right? So if I show you, oh goodness, we have a war memorial down there. I'm not sure if I could. Okay, let's just do this. You see some of my searches there. I mean, I was trying to get ready for the show here. So let's do War Memorial White Water Gorge, Indiana. Let's do it like that. Yeah, Wayne County's Veterans Memorial Park. Okay, you see some of these images? See, that's the river right there. Okay, we got a greenway that goes down through here. But we got these tanks. We got the moving Vietnam Wall, the one that travels. It stays here in Richmond for months at a time. If it was here, it's underwater. Just saying, this tank, if they didn't move it, it's floating unless it's bolted to the ground. That's how deep the water is. And, you know, hopefully they had the foresight. Now, this here is, well, here's fate. Maybe I can catch some other images here. See, here's some more stuff, guys. You guys can just get on, even, like I said, Facebook even. There's another one of those rope bridges I was telling you about. Guys, there was a tree that crashed into it, destroyed it. I mean, completely destroyed it. Look at this. Oh, that's a better picture. Look. There's that bridge I was showing you. Let's just click on that one. See how far, and like I said, typically this water is lower. This bridge is no longer there. Well, I guess sections of it is. But, yeah. So, yeah, I don't know what else to say. It's just bad. And I'm not looking forward to tomorrow. Hopefully people have got their head screwed on straight now. And just will quit, you know. Let's click on this. This might give us, yeah, see? Ain't this cool? This is what's down there in that gorge. It's underwater now. It sucks. It freaking sucks, man. I don't know what else to say about it, but I got to tell people about it because I'm here. You know, I've never been in a place where we had this. It just sucks. It really truly does, and it bothers me more than I could ever say. You know, when I start hearing about people passing away and then kids, I mean, my God, man, a 4-year-old kid, completely innocent. It just doesn't make sense. That's all. And I show you guys all that, and I concentrate on that so you guys can hopefully, you know, do what you do and pray for people, you know, send them good thoughts, whatever you do. Please do it. You know? I don't know how else to help them. I mean, there's really no other way to help. Let's see here. We had another feature here I was going to show you, and I can't find it. But as you can tell, you got multiple waterfalls. This one's pretty cool. This goes all the way down. You can walk this thing. And the reason why I say that, I lost a cousin to this river. We had it was a flood. We had a flash flood, but it wasn't like what we're seeing here. It was more of a heavy rainstorm that caused the river to rise real quick. And he was down at our local ballpark, and he was on his bike, and somehow his leg got stuck on something. And I can just remember my uncle and his family just walking this river for like 50 miles. And they came back and they found him underneath a bridge over by our cemetery. It was horrible. So, guys, turn around, don't drown. I mean, I don't know what else to say. And I know it's kind of negative and all that, but man, come on. I don't understand how people can look at stuff like this and be like, yeah, let's just drive through that. I mean, you know, I mean, like I said, I always ask my wife and my family this stuff. I said, who was the first person that looked over at that cow and said, hey, what's that white stuff coming out of its belly? Let's go see what that tastes like. I want to know the first person who said that. Because, you know, obviously we all drink milk nowadays. I just... I don't know. I mean, yeah. Also, 70, the highway 70, you see this right here? A section of 70 looks like that now too. It completely washed out the road. Here's some of the, this is over here in New Paris, I think. But yeah. Yeah. All right. All right, guys. That's all I got for you. I know I probably stayed here longer than I should have. 50 minutes, one of the longer live streams I've done in a long time. But yeah, so let's end on a positive here and give me a roll call in there and I'll say hi to you. If you guys got any questions or anything, let me know. But yeah. Also, guys, if you guys want to become a member, please do. That would be awesome. Please hit the like and share button. That helps more than you know. Come back and leave me a comment, please. Call me an idiot in the comment section. I don't care. You're not wrong. Anyway, oh, here, check it out. There you go. Look, parts of I-70 washed away. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah. I mean, it's just, it's horrific. Truly horrific. And when it hits close to home to you, it means so much more. And I'm glad that a lot of you guys listening to me don't have to deal with this. But if you ever see something like this, please get yourself educated. And like I said, turn around, don't drown. It's a cliche for a reason. And I'm not ashamed to use it. I'm really not. I tell my kids that all the time. Turn around, don't drown. If they're going to be in the car or driving somewhere or whatever. But yeah. All right, we got Grass Valley. What's up, Jay Poss? My brother from California, baby. Mary Miles, Wyoming. Hey, Vicky. What's going on in Southwest Iowa? Robert, what's up? Wyoming Devil's Tower area and surges had hit. Oh, okay. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, the hailstorms are bad. You know what? Something else that people need to consider during these floods? For like a week or two after, if you get a windstorm when the ground is wet, trees will blow over quickly. Okay? We had a derecho come through Indiana. It hit Jammer right on, well, it barely missed him, I think. But it came down through Indiana, I think it started in Wisconsin. I'm not sure, Jim might be able to tell you. Hey, what's up, Hank? What's going on, Draconis? What's happening? Hope you're doing better, bud. Hope you're feeling better. If you need something, man, email me, okay? Anyway, but yeah. Let's see here. Madison County, what's up, Rizzy Patriot? What's happening? Patricia Gilmer. Hi, friends. Thanks from New York. New York City. Sorry. The old salsa commercial, right? Anyway, but thank you guys for just supporting, just being here, listening to my hillbilly explanations of things. But get over and check out Marfugal. Adam, he's killing it. He always kills it, man. Just pray for everybody over there too. A lot of stuff's going on everywhere. And I think that's one of the easiest and one of the most forgotten things to do is just to take 10, 15, 20 seconds out of your day and pray for somebody, even if you don't know them. It doesn't have to be specific. It gets heard, okay? And, like I said, I believe it helps. So, anyway. Alright, guys. Again, like, share, subscribe. Check out all the old YouTube stuff. If you want to be a member, please do. Memberships are I'm getting the numbers back up there after being gone for a while. We had a good time in the other one. I got some games and stuff I want to try to play. And hopefully we can, have a good time. That's what we do in the members only. We become, I'll talk about space weather too. But most of the time we're just having fun. Watching funny stuff. We were watching all kinds of funny stuff that last time. I had a really good time with you guys. If anybody's ever interested while they're in the members only, I can give you a Zoom link and you can actually come on and physically talk. You know, you know what's funny? It was stupid. Those videos we watched, anybody that's a member, remember the videos we watched? Some of the music that was playing in the background, I had the ads turned off. I don't turn the ads on members only. I will never do that. I got an email saying that I couldn't monetize that video. Said I could use it, but I wouldn't get the ad revenue from it. The person that had the music would. I'm sitting there thinking, what video did I use? You know, I'm sitting, because, you know, like my intro and stuff, the music in that I had to pay for. So, I mean, that's just how that works. You get a license number, and then, then you're free to use it. But somehow in those shorts we were watching, it did that, and it was for that members only stream. I was like, okay, whatever. I'm not trying to get revenue from that anyway. It's ridiculous. But yeah. All right, guys. Has anybody heard of is Adam doing a show tonight, J Poss? Do you know? Or Wise Jen? If you guys know, just put it there in the chat. I'm going to go ahead and get off here, guys. I don't want to waste your guys' time just looking at the same thing. But yeah, guys, so we had these in event mode, these buoys. We didn't get no big tsunamis, okay? But that was a very large earthquake. We can look at that real quick. If you look at down here at USGS, you click on the orange pager button. It gives you percentages of what should be happening. Once again, look, fatalities. It sucks. It just does. Now, that's not saying it's a guarantee, but according to their data, they're saying there's a 44% chance that 100 to 1,000 people are going to pass away from this thing. That's what that means. So, yeah. And then you can look at the shake map, and you can see how many people were affected and how hard the shaking was at these levels, right? The more severe. So right here, severe shaking, 558,000 people felt severe shaking from this quake. That's a lot. So, we need to pray for them too. You know what I mean? Well, thank you. Let's see here. Yep, you're right, Samka. For sure. For sure. Oh, I post it in our managing moderator chats, Wise Jen. I always post a link there. So if you're not getting it from YouTube, you might check there. I post it on Telegram too. So anyway, guys, I'm going to get out of here, okay? I'm losing my voice. I'm still trying to heal up from being sick. All right, guys. Let's end it on this. Okay? All right. Well, let's go up here to the purple one. I like the purple one, man. Purple's my favorite color. Anyway, God bless. Yahusha saves. And as always, you can drink this Kool-Aid.